Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports, man. Yo, screw these sanctioning bodies, man. Screw them. I'm tired of the bullshit that's going on, man. The way they're doing Opetaia, I don't like it. You want to have some political crap going on between yourself and Zuffa and Turkey Al-Sheikh and Dana White, whatever. But y'all sitting here, man, making the fighters suffer. Now Shakur Stevenson's going over to Zuffa. It looks like I'm just anticipating him having the same fate, especially if he fights for a Zuffa title. But when it comes to Jai Opetaia, he's become the symbol of a bigger fight. You know what I mean? Many of his fans who are paying attention, they're like, if they do Shakur this way, this is no longer just about the fighters. It's about who's controlling boxing. And that's what I think this is. Who controls boxing? And it's stupid. There's enough to go around for everybody. You know, it's about, to me, whether fighters truly have freedom to pursue the fights and opportunities they want. It's all about the fighters, right? Let them go get their money. Let them chase their dreams and opportunities. You get guys like Jai who spent years building himself into one of the most feared cruiserweights on earth. Earned the right to pursue the biggest opportunities available. Instead, now you take a look at it, a lot of people feel he's being punished for choosing a different path than the traditional path just because he went over there to Zuffa. So fans see a fighter who wants major fights and major paydays but keeps running into political roadblocks, something he has nothing to do with. Now, the WBC title situation has a lot of people frustrated, and other people are just sitting back observing, man. Many fans expected Jai to position himself for major championship opportunities, thought he'd have the IBF belt still, and after he fought Glanton, but that's not how it worked out. Instead, he's just obstacles at every turn. He was stripped of the IBF belt. And that frustration that a lot of people have is because they're emotionally invested in Jai, and others, it shit stems just from perception. They're looking like, this don't seem right, because it's not. Now, whether people agree or disagree with the decisions, many fans believe the timing looked real suspicious. They see a fighter who signed with a powerful new promotional structure and suddenly faces more resistance than before. So that perception creates distrust for the sanctioning bodies. But once fans begin questioning motives, every decision becomes controversial, and that's where I'm at right now. Y'all know I'm always putting shit under a microscope anyway. Now, with Shakur Stevenson, I really think he's going to be the next example. I do. His situation has a lot of fans, man, you know, especially after listening to me talk, they're paying attention, close attention. So with Shakur, the concern is never about his ability. Shakur Stevenson has proven himself. He's the truth, okay? It's not about his talent. He's got it, man. It's what happens if the champion begins operating within a competing championship structure. Will he keep his title? Would a sanctioning body support him or do him like they did Jai? Strip him of his WBO, make a choice. Fight for that Zuffa belt, or you fight for our belt. Will he be forced to choose? What's going to happen? Are the politics going to become more important than the competition like it did against Jai Opetaia? So I'm going to keep talking about it because to me, man, the questions and concerns should become louder and louder every week. And there are a lot of people out here who support Shakur Stevenson, especially after seeing what he did to Zepeda and what he did to Teal. Those who weren't convinced Shakur's got the goods, they are. They're like, yo, Shakur, no kidding, is one of boxing's biggest stars. And he deserves to be in that argument for pound great. World champion, 4 weight divisions, 126, 130, 135, 140. You know what I mean? Heavily associated right now with Zuffa, that championship system. They're just watching and like, yo, conflict's going to emerge. Because we all believe champions should be able to pursue opportunities whatever they choose, but the sanctioning bodies want money. And if they feel that, you know, those guys going over there, they're not going to want to pay the sanctioning fees, so they're like, oh, make a choice. And it's really messed up, man. I understand what sanctioning bodies have rules. You got to follow them. I agree. I'm very regimented. I'm a black and white guy. I believe in it. If this is what the rules say, what you got to do. But see, the problem is perception. Fans don't always see rules, and these sanctioning bodies don't always follow their rules. Everybody's about the outcome, and 10 times out of 10 is how it benefits the sanctioning bodies. Now, if everyone benefits, great. But if the sanctioning bodies don't get something, then their butt hurts. If a champion loses a title by pursuing another opportunity, you know politics are involved. And I think this is just snowballing and becoming a huge problem for sanctioning bodies because credibility is everything. Everything. You, as a sanctioning body, and this is my opinion, you only have value if you're proven to be legitimate. You know what I'm saying? If you're not proven to be legitimate, you don't have any credibility, man. I mean, you ain't shit. You don't have no value. The belts matter because fans recognize them, and a lot of the boxers and these fighters, they've dreamt of being a WBC champion, WBA, WBO, IBF champion. They want a title. They want that shit around their waist. But once fans and fighters begin believing decisions are motivated by politics rather than merit, well, then the credibility suffers. And I think eventually the sanctioning bodies will dry up and just die off. That's why they got to get it right. Because whether my beliefs are accurate, your beliefs are accurate or not, that becomes secondary. Public perception becomes the reality. And that's what we're up against right now. Now, the modern fan, they're different. 20 years ago, fans had limited access to information. Today, every decision is instantly debated. Social media creates a nonstop courtroom. Every ranking, every mandatory, every title defense, every purse bid. You see guys out here talking about that shit every day, shit with boxing. Examine everything. 90% of people don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but that 10% know what they're talking about. Because most people, I realize, they just focus on what interests them. They ain't trying to understand holistically what's going on and get down in the weeds, the nuts and bolts, rules and regulations, the explicit guidance. That 10% who does, you get a fair conversation on them because now they're talking from facts without emotion. But, sometimes a good conversation involves the explicit guidance and the emotion. But shit's getting examined publicly. So fans are comparing treatment of fighters, between fighters, compare situations across divisions, and create narratives real quickly. Now, with me, y'all know I'm always talking about the secret society. In-your-face corruption narrative. That's what I'm pushing. One of the strongest criticisms from fans is the belief that some decisions appear selective. I feel that way. I'll argue all day that certain fighters receive flexibility while others don't. Canelo. They believe consistency is what creates trust, and I don't see that. When fans feel consistency is lacking, accusations of favoritism and corruption quickly emerge. So whether those accusations are fair or unfair, they damage confidence. Now, if they allow Shakur to fight for a Zuffa title and hold on to his WBO title, well, right there, it's going to show you. You know what I'm saying? Decisions are being very selective. They should do Shakur what they did Jaya Opetaia, if that's the case. If not, WTF. I just think there's a huge risk for these sanctioning bodies. They may create a competitor they can't stop. Boxing's entering a new era. If enough stars choose alternative platforms, traditional organizations are going to lose influence. The more stars move elsewhere, like, migrating over to Zuffa, the less valuable rankings become, the less valuable mandatory positions become, the less valuable belts become, and then they just won't make much money. The money dries up as well. So that's the nightmare scenario that, we should be talking about. Now, Jaya Opetaia, he to me is the test case. He's become the first major example. I know I view him as the fighter testing whether something can operate outside the traditional boxing structure and still remain a major attraction. If Jai continues making significant money and maintaining fan support, others may follow. A lot of people have gone over to Zuffa. They're like, man, forget this shit. We're going where the money's at. And I think they should. And that's why I think the sanctioning bodies are freaking out right now, because they're considered boxing's power structure. And the boxing power structure doesn't want to change, but it's being changed, forced to change dramatically, because they've got some people out here with the kind of money that the sanctioning bodies can't compete against. Now, as far as Shakur Stevenson, the question, right? What happens next for Shakur? Fans are watching Shakur closely. People are rooting for this man to get paid, rooting for him, but they're like, oh, Shakur, you sure you want to do that? Look what they did to Jai. You may lose your momentum. You're pursuing opportunities elsewhere. You know, this situation could become a major precedent where they're going to screw you like they did Jai. So every move about you is going to be scrutinized, man. They're going to be watching you. Announcements are going to be analyzed, and sanctioning bodies' decisions are going to force debate with fans because the sanctioning bodies, we believe, are going to screw you. So the bottom line is Jai Opetaia's situation has become much bigger than one belt, people. It ain't about the IBF belt no more. It's just about trust, credibility, and a bid for power taking place. And I think Shakur going to find himself facing similar questions and issues. Fans increasingly view boxing as a battle between traditional power structures and emerging ones. That's all this shit is. The biggest issue is trust. When fans stop trusting the system, they begin questioning everything. And once that happens, every title decision becomes controversial, whether it deserves criticism or not. And that is just how it is. That's why I say, yo, man, the secret societies in full EFFECT. Screw these sanctioning bodies. But if they get it together, then good. Job well done. If not, that's messed up, man. But hey, choices, consequences, it's really all about that money. That's it. Simple. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.